Everyone, welcome to the final episode of Draft Like a Pro, where we're going to wrap up our October League. We would love to do a November League, but unfortunately, Sorare are ending the amateur competitions in 2 weeks for the likes of me. And so today I'm joined by my guest, the FPL expert, Max. How are you doing, Max?
Very well. Once again, a beautiful week of football.
Beautiful midweek of football as well. I just watched my Fulham team pull out a nice handy win, and United unfortunately dropped to Newcastle.
Yeah, and West Ham with a very convincing win against Arsenal too, which um, I guess Arsenal are focusing on the league. I mean, yeah, that's all you can say, really.
Yeah, Yeah, I want to call this episode Missed Data Points, Missed Opportunities, right? And it goes back to last season when I was on a big FPL run and I had a choice between playing a Man United defense or an Everton defense. And I missed that Casemiro was suspended and I played my Man United defense. And I basically missed out on about 10 points because United conceded 2 goals. I think De Gea and Shaw got 1 point. And then Tarkovsky and Pickford both got six. And I think this kind of happened in this midweek where I missed something that I only realized afterwards that United were playing City, who didn't have a game midweek, but United did. And I thought they're going to brick against City, and then they play really well against Newcastle. Of course, that didn't happen. But on the bright side, I did get a card. Well, it did happen, kind of, that I predict City would roll. So I had Haaland and Doku here, and I pulled a card in Specialist that we're going to give away later. I actually won an Axel Disasi. And another alternative title I was thinking was when defensive sacks go wrong. So I locked in Eddie and Kedia after Jesus got injured. I didn't go with City, but I feel like I was chirping so much about Liverpool and Arsenal and Villa that City were actually a really good pick last week. And then the OG on Martinez cost me a lot of points because I was messaging you saying, like, hey, I beat you this week. And it's a complete topsy turvy week that everyone who kept Trippier and Madison, like I said last week, that they were good, but these guys are perfect. They're going to miss out. And guys like me are going to farm it. And then Emi Martinez, negative decisive, minus 25 points, minus 10 points, then whatever, minus 7 points AA, completely killed me. And I actually thought I was going to win, but then the City game happened and I didn't get a prize in this. But yeah, that was my game week
Yeah,
in Specialist.
super unfortunate. I mean, like Villa were so close to keeping a clean sheet. So, Szoboszlai probably had his best game for Liverpool yet. He looked incredible. And Salah got kind of a lucky goal, so you really nearly got away with it last week.
Yeah. Yeah. Another data point we missed was Fulham, in my opinion, was that Brighton had to play a midweek game
Mm.
and Fulham didn't. And then Brighton rotated their team like crazy. And we saw my boy Polina got 100. And so I had him in this team as well. And actually, I had a triple stack of Leverkusen. They conceded late on. Here in Challenger, I'm sure you don't know anyone here, but I had a defensive stack of Dynamo Moscow, 94th minute. Didn't happen, but I still pulled a tier 3, but I could have pulled a tier 1. Um, yeah, it would have been a much better card. Cap 270, João Palhinha again, 100 points. This is like a monthly thing they're doing. And then, yeah, more and more thresholds. My boy Sambu Samano, triple threshold. We love to see it, $250. And Cap 220, we're giving away this Philip Billing today as well. I pulled in the NAA and Kedia in here, got the 93, pulled in a nice card. And then finally, I wanted to show this one here where I had the nightmare scenario. Captain Araki scored an own goal. And so we're going to do the maths out on this. He lost 25 plus 3. He lost 20 plus 4 plus the captain bonuses. And Shutani would have lost 14. So yeah, I would have been deep in the prize in All-Star, but man, you hate to see that. So yeah, enough about me. Let's talk real quickly about you and how you got on because you've completely rolled me the last few game weeks and it didn't happen for you this week.
Yeah. I mean, like the 5-0 for Arsenal and no returns for Martinelli was a bit disappointing. I think talked about backing big players in big moments and big players in small moments against Sheffield United. It still didn't work out for him. So I think he's just kind of coming back to fitness. He did come off as well. So maybe it's not the best time to have Martinelli. I'm sure he'll come good soon. Yeah, 66 minutes.
Yeah,
So
that's the thing really in Sorare is that if you don't have the full 90 minutes to rack up the AA, it can really hurt you. And Arteta is going a bit bold. He's rotating his forwards a lot. So
Well, I mean, if they're winning 4 or 5-0, I guess it makes sense to rotate a player who's just back from sort of injury, where he's had some injury problems in the past. It wasn't a game where it was necessary to play him, especially they had the midweek game against West Ham, which obviously we know they lost, and they have Newcastle as well this weekend, which is a really tricky game for them. They're going to need probably 90 minutes out of Martinelli that game, and probably a similar performance from Nketiah. I love the Nketiah pick. I know you started off with Gabriel Jesus and then rotated Nketiah in once you found out Jesus was injured. So yeah, that was really nice, and yeah, for the victory of the spoils.
yeah, another win for Spurs, but James Maddison finally blanked. He
Yeah,
had
and he was pretty involved in the goals. I think he had the you say the hockey assist, where he set up the assist for I think it was for both goals. So he was heavily involved, but I guess it doesn't count as a chance created. It definitely doesn't lead as count as a chance led to shot. So yeah, and another nice performance, some good signs from Madison again, but uh, not the Sorare points this week.
Yeah, and really unfortunate OG on Matty Cash, but you still got him in at 40 points, 56. You could have got a 70. Yeah, we pretty much talked about Villa. And then Trippier was such a big disappointment. That's what made our league really topsy-turvy this week, is that Trippier scored so low, and the people who've had him and been getting these hundreds, then
Mhm.
they like the play would have been to get rid of Trippier and Madison last week. You got the crystal ball. But yeah, minus 60. This is what can happen with fullbacks, is that you just lose a ton of possession. Like minus 14 points on possession is kind of crazy. Just you lose a ton of passes, you lose some duels, and you get absolutely crushed. It's very much a feast or famine sometimes with these guys. Then West Ham against Everton. West Ham, actually, I think it's a perfectly fine pick, but just Everton are looking better recently. Jared Brantwaite looks really good. Mikalenko, who we're giving away to the winner, looks really good. I think that was like some call by me a while ago when I was looking at just some budget players I wanted to get in to win the jersey and give away. And Mikalenko, it's been looked really, really good. But yeah, unfortunately, West Ham didn't keep the clean sheet.
Yeah, like you said, Everton looking solid. Another win in the cup tonight, so they could be a good team to back defensively. It seems like Dyche has finally implemented his style in the team, so looking forward to seeing what they might do next.
So we're going to just move swiftly on to our league now and our what happened in the game week. So I'm on the second page here where you are. You so look at that. You had such a bad game week down there, but let's look at the first page where I am. So I came fourth. UKZ Sorare.
Did you want to look at
Uh,
the month, or was that
yeah,
the?
yeah, I'm getting to it. I'm getting to it. So we'll hit the overall, and there you are in sixth place, and there I am in 13th.
Okay.
So I talked to our editor, Esor Dimebar. He told me he didn't want the prize. So congratulations to Threat Level Midnight, who has pulled the Mikalenko. I'm going to be sending that tonight. Our two other prizes is the Axel Di Sassi and the Philip Billing. And I am just going to pull up a random number generator, and we are going to just give it away to whoever's number comes up. So I've told it we can't be us. So we're going to go and we're going to give it away to number 8 is going to be the Philip Billing. And the next one, number 7, is going to be the DSAC. So I'm going to swap back to our table. And number 7 is Diego Maradona.
Excellent name.
Yes, we're going to give the DSAC, and No Name is going to get the billing. So I'll make sure to send that out tonight. So yeah, for one last time, we're going to do a quick preview of the game week and what our changes are going to be, even though the league is over. This is just going to be a case of seeing if we can win something else. And I think this game week's pretty interesting because you've got these two teams that are massively favorites, and then you don't really have that big favorites elsewhere. So top player, Haaland. Haaland has really come strong. He was sliding down my little rankings for a while, but he's come really, really strong. That 93%, I feel like he's almost must transfer in at this stage.
Yeah, not too pricey still. In Sorare at least. I think he's
In
60.
FPL, it's a different story.
Yeah, yeah, in FPL, if you've made the sacrifice of dropping Haaland for Watkins, which I don't know, it would be crazy to do. I don't know who would consider that. Um, and maybe you have some ground to make up.
Yeah, in FPL, after I had that spectacular blow up in one game week, going from 1 million to 5 million, I decided to wildcard and I decided to go no Haaland, no Salah. Just full mid tier picks across the board. And it has not worked out. I'm still sitting 5 million. So in FPL, I wish I still had Haaland and Salah, the two top guys. I have Alvarez, but yeah, Julian could be nice, but he's also expensive. Rodrigo, like 70 points, very much captain. He's so expensive and so rare.
Mhm.
Liverpool, my boy Shabashley with the 100. I've thrown 3 boosts into him. He's sitting at 8.5%. Really hoping he can come good. For me, he's must own. Because well, I already own him, but I feel like he's still must own.
Yeah, he's creating a lot of chances. He's getting better with each game, so he's definitely a nice one to have in your team. At least in Sorare. I'm not sure about FPL still. We'll see the sort of returns he has over the coming games, especially against Luton. It's a nice time to have him.
Cool. And then Aston Villa against Forest. That's a nice one for me because I've got the defensive stack of Martinez plus Dean. You still have cash. Nice players to hold on to.
Yeah, yeah, and I guess Forest have a couple of their talisman back from injuries or coming back from injuries, so they might have some chances to score, but you'd have to fancy Villa. They've just been steaming past everyone at the moment, so yeah, good times for Villa
Yeah.
fans.
Yeah. Manchester United versus Fulham. This is a hard game for Fulham, but when the going gets hard, going gets tough, some players get going. And a player like Paulinho, my guy got 100 at the weekend, tough game. This feels like Paulinho's week. I've got triple Paulinho, 3 different teams. We lining him up, captaining him everywhere, away from home. He was so good against Brighton. I don't think you watched it, but he was
I saw the goal.
unbelievable. Did
The
you see
goal.
him nearly knock out Gross as
He
well?
should have been sent off, I think. So maybe you got a little bit lucky with the points there, but um, no, he
Yeah.
definitely had a great performance, and I think against a Manchester United midfield that looks extremely fragile at the moment, he could have a really good game. Fulham could sneak a 1-0 win. I think Ten Hag isn't in a great moment. The club isn't in a great moment. There's also some speculation about what's happening with the club, with Murta potentially taking over. It's a good time to be playing against them, that's for sure. So Fulham, after a really nice draw against Brighton last week, could get rolling with a win against United at Old Trafford.
Yeah, then United obviously have the Champions League, which is a big deal to them in the midweek. So we're talking about missed data points. We could
Mm.
be talking about United playing midweek, weekend, midweek. Like
Yeah,
this, it's a crazy schedule for United that Fulham don't have because we're not in Europe. So Fulham rotated as well in the midweek. We had, I can't even remember who we had. Middlesbrough? No. Ipswich. We had Ipswich, and we decided to play this guy, Div Figro, that I've never even heard of, an 18-year-old from the academy. I know it's probably like Div Figro or something like that, but I'm calling him Div Figro. Tom Kearney scored great. Everyone played well. But Tim Ream didn't play. Brent Leno didn't play. So we can just put in our best team, not have to worry about it. And yeah, I really think Fulham will be good. So I'll probably be locking those guys in and specialists playing a similar team to last week. Leno, maybe Robinson instead of Ream, Paulinho, captain, Haaland, and then someone else. I'm debating Doku or not. Um, yeah, other than that, nothing jumps out at me. Wolves or Sheffield, Pedro Neto will still be great. Brentford, West Ham, that's hard to call. Spurs versus Chelsea. Are Chelsea back? Anyone jump out at you at Chelsea? Do you think Chelsea has a chance against Spurs,
uh,
or Spurs
they
just
were
going to roll?
pretty bad against Brentford, but then pretty okay today in the cup. So yeah, I still fancy Spurs by a lot. I think Spurs are just playing really well at the moment. So I don't have any hesitance to put Madison in my team again this week. I think if
Yeah, it's
Spurs
true.
play the way they have been, they should win pretty easily. Chelsea are still in the
Yeah,
tip, you know.
Brighton versus Everton. Probably
Yeah,
not relevant, not going to be popular picks and so rare, but to me, it's like Everton look good. Brighton are going rotation crazy for the midweeks they have.
yeah.
There could be like a real nice edge there on Everton that try level midnight with the Mikalenko could go on a good team, could do something. I did like that. Mikalenko actually won me a lot during the international game weeks. I think I won a Pedro Galisi with him while I had him, who was the goalkeeper of Peru and Orlando. But yeah, then Arsenal versus Newcastle. Who knows? Very much unstoppable force versus a movable object. Hard to find value there in Sorare. You keeping
Nil.
Martinelli?
I think
Nil.
I think nil all. I think it's got nil all written all over it. So no value in Martinelli for this week. I think it's a good time to swap him out.
Yeah, then Burnley, Crystal Palace. I'm surprised to see Burnley ahead of Palace here. Or no, sorry, never
No,
mind.
Palace
Palace are ahead of Burnley.
Palace
I'm
playing
I'm,
well,
I'm blind. I'm
especially
blind.
defensively. Palace look really solid. I think there are a lot of people
Yeah,
talking about backing Palace at the moment in FPL. Anderson's one of the top scorers in the game for this season, so
he's the
uh,
highest L15 on Sorare as well. Like he's ahead.
wow.
He's number one.
Yeah,
Such a weird pick, especially because he played for Denmark and pulled out some hundreds as well.
is
So
he the highest? Wow,
yeah, he's got.
wow, that's really impressive.
I think well, that means he's level with Salah.
Got 100 against Brentford too. Pretty impressive. Yeah, I backed them defensively 100% against Burnley. Burnley don't have a lot of proven goal scorers, so could be a
Yeah,
nice team to pick, but maybe expensive and so rare because they've been so good defensively.
yeah. So moving on, I'm gonna do my changes real quick.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a little bit crazy, but I'm actually really tight on budget now because of my decisions. And even though Salah is great, he's actually behind Haaland. And I feel like Haaland is very must get this week. So
Mm.
sacrificing Salah, getting Haaland, and Vieira, like I made that call to say that he's got that Havertz is not that good. Vieira's going to get a run on the team. He's going to do great. And I was half right. He got his 3 games and he was average. And Arteta's rotating. And I don't have any City assets. City are against Bournemouth. Easy thing. So for me, Holland in, Salah out, Vieira out, Bernardo Silva in. And you're playing Pep Roulette, playing a dangerous game, but we're not playing the monthly league anymore. We're just trying to get top 300 in one game week. So I'm going to have my nice defensive stack of Aston Villa, my plus 3% Shabashlai, then my Haaland and my Bernardo Silva. And then I captain Haaland. And that's going to be my amateur team. If I
I,
look at
just
my
to, just to say something about your amateur team, I think for the first time this season, I feel like your team looks better than mine.
first time,
It's the
okay,
last week of the season. I think for the first time, your team looks better.
yeah, I'm happy with that. Just got the Aston Villa guys in last week, and then this week, just backing Fulham, getting Robinson in, who's really cheap and scored I think 80 last week. He scored here. Where okay, I'm not bothered looking at that. The UI in Sora has gotten so bad. Polina, Haaland, and then I have 60 points exactly for Doku. That's too tempting. And then I have 59 for Shabashli though. Oof,
Ooh,
oof, oof.
that's tough.
Can I probably keep Shabashli?
Doku, while he didn't score high last week, he was very convincing in embarrassing Anthony. I thought that was, and then tweeting about it afterwards, of course. I thought
Yeah.
that was quite cool.
Yeah, I thought that was nice. That was nice. I think Anthony just did that because Roy Keane, after every single City game, Man United game, goes, "Oh, they had no fight. Where was the energy? Who was standing up?" I said, "I'm just going to foul the guy." It's like
I don't know if that's the way to
Anthony,
do
that's
but
not that's
it
not what
is
he's talking
something
about.
that Roy Keane would do. So I mean, yeah, you're right.
Yeah. So if you want to
Yeah.
share your screen there,
Yes. So I have my changes prepared here. So as I mentioned, Gabriel Martinelli has got to go. I think it's hard to back them. Arsenal against Newcastle, especially away from home. Newcastle, like we mentioned earlier, really, really convincing in the cup tonight, and that was with some sub players like Hull and Livermento looked really, really good. Good to know from a Sorare perspective that if Trippier is having an off day, if he's not feeling fit, they very much have someone ready to come in Livermento and put on a performance. I think for consecutive cup matches, he was Newcastle's best player. So I think that's as good a reason as any to trade Trippier out too. Harvey Elliott, I'm not convinced that he's going to play. If I was somewhat sure he was going to play, I would have kept him because obviously Luton is a nice fixture. But because he's not, I thought I'd trade him out. And just like you, Erling Haaland has to be Erling Haaland. Jack Grealish also looked pretty good last week against United. He had some shots, a couple of saves from Onana. Probably, once again, one of Onana's better games. He seems to be getting better while the defense gets worse. And then Tsimikas, just for a budget pick for Liverpool defense. He has some good chances of getting forward. He takes set pieces too. So, yeah, I'm pretty happy with those changes. Backing the teams who are pretty likely to win. And then
are you gonna go for Onana? You gotta go for Onana. You want to do it? You want to?
I'm not going for
Yeah.
Onana. Absolutely not. But I will have Grealish over Matty Cash or Anthony Gordon as well. And then I'm sticking with James Maddison. I trust him. So yeah,
Matty Cash against Nottingham. I think Nottingham
away from home
aren't that good.
It's a bit of a derby as well. I think there's a chance it could be high scoring. I'm not sure. It's a really hard one to call, to be honest. Even though Villa are on a massive roll, they have been conceding the odd goal. So
yeah. I'm probably gonna get burned again. Another Luca Dean OG this week, as I'm about to pull in the 450 points. But
and then obviously I have to still pick a team that incorporates Billy Gilmore. No idea whether he'll play on any given week, but he's the only card I actually have and so rare. So I'll throw Jack Grealish in with him. I'll leave Madison out for this team since I have to pick Billy Gilmore. And yeah, those are my picks for this week.
Nice. That doesn't look as good as your other team. Billy Gilmore's a problem. I think Brighton in general are a problem. Like De Zerbi, I think I'll never get over that. Was the interview with Zlatan where he was like, "These bald guys are funny. You can't trust these bald guys." The Ten Hag mess with Ronaldo. Like De Zerbi.
Is De Zerbi bald? I think he's got some hair. I think he's got a
little bit of hair.
He's got some hair going on.
I don't trust these rotational like Spanish. I don't even know De Zerbi Spanish managers that he's like. They're hard to get a grip on. If you don't have your reliable picks, it's very hard. So
Brighton are impossible right now. I think it's Matoma is the only one you can really back until Stupinan comes back from injury. I guess Dunk as well, but I mean they're conceding a goal literally every game. I don't know if they've kept a clean sheet this season. Maybe one. I don't know. I don't know. Billy Gilmore. They have so many midfielders as well. Despite the injuries, they have, I think, like 5 or 6 for 2 positions in the centre midfield. So, yeah, Brighton are tricky.
Yeah. So I hate your team. I think my team is going to score a lot better, but that doesn't matter because I finished 14th and you finished 4th, 6th, 4th in our league. So you finished 6th and I finished 13th. So I will have forever lost the bragging rights that this is my game where I claim to be good at. It doesn't matter that I'm ranked 5 million in FPL because I had a good season last season and I won John Ellis's FPL tournament. But I got embarrassed at my own game.
I think you had a really good half a season last season. Weren't you ranked like 5K at like Christmas or January?
I was ranked 7. Not 7K, 7.
Mm.
And I did the interview with John Nellis. I got a bunch of views when I was ranked 200.
Yeah, you went up from there even for a little while, and then it
Yeah,
kind of
I was
started.
doing the interview 200, then I went
I
up
mean,
to 7,
those
and
are
then I
good.
just dropped like a stone. I finished 40K.
Look, maybe you'll get
Um,
number one in Sorare this week, and I think that's enough to hold the bragging rights. Your team looks good enough, so yeah, we'll see how it goes.
yeah. Yep. So that's been it. That's been the show. We might come back to Sorare TV with a new concept if Sorare introduce amateur that you can play with your casual FPL friends again. But for now, goodbye and thank you for watching. Peace.